Yo, what's going on, everybody out there? Mr. Sandman is signing back in real quick, and I just want to switch gears a little bit. You know, everybody, like, let's say '80s baby or what may have you, we had those sitcoms that we liked. Especially when it came to the '90s or the late '80s. Like, I ain't gonna lie, like one of my personal favorites was Family Matters. You know, everybody remember Carl Winslow from Die Hard, Eddie Winslow, Laura, the smart but shallow girl. I say smart but shallow because yeah, she was very book smart, but she knew Steve genuinely had feelings for her, but she always would diss him because he was a nerd. It is what it is. But she'd wanna mess with these other dudes that was jocks and was they didn't care nothing about her. They just wanted to smash, and they was basically borderline mongoloids. Um, you know, you had Richie, you had Rachel. Everybody know Rachel was Harriet's sister. She moved in. Everybody remember Little Richie. That was Rachel's son. The dude with the he had the Elder Barge S curl, and the infamous Steve Urkel. Everybody remembers Steve Urkel. Like you already know, this dude was the he was like part of the '90s. Let's really be real. This dude Urkel was everywhere when it came to the '90s. TV, toys, lunchboxes, catchphrases. He just became an entity. Like, let's really be real. He became bigger than Family Matters. You know, and that's what he had on there. That's what he had on the reunion. Because they had a reunion recently. They had Carl Winslow. They had Harriet. They had Laura. They had Eddie. They had Rachel, Richie. This dude Richie looked like I ain't gonna lie. He looked a little bit like this dude Ghost from not Empire, from Power. That's who Richie looked like. And they had basically the primary cast. At in Waldo, but they didn't have the little sister Judy, and they didn't have 3J. Now this well, one of the reasons why I wanted to make this video. I think that I just think that they should have ran with it, especially when it came to Judy, because everybody remembers Judy, for being Laura's little sister, Laura and Eddie's little sister, and she didn't really get a fair chance on the show. For those out there that don't know, she just got took off the show because they wanted to save money, budget cuts, what may have you. Basically, they felt like we gonna give Steve Urkel little Julie's salary. That's basically what they did. They was like, you know what, we got Urkel, we don't need Judy, whatever. She's really, it is what it is. She didn't make the cut. So everybody knows, or for those who don't know, she ventured off into doing porn, and it's unfortunate. I know a lot of people's gonna sit there and say, "But oh, that's on her. She shouldn't have went off to do porn. She should have went and got another job or what may have you." Yeah, you may be right, but at the same time, you can't judge anybody for how they make their money. You don't know what that particular person is going through at that particular moment. You know, I'm not gonna lie. Like once upon a time, with myself, I tried to look for work a long time ago. I tried to look for work, though nothing was hiring, so I had to start selling drugs. It just is what it is. Like bills got to get paid. You got to put sustenance in your stomach. You got to eat. It is what it is. And for her to be judged for that, I think is somewhat highly hypocritical because at the end of the day, us as humans, we all got to do what we got to do when it comes to eating or paying bills or what may have you. We got to survive. That's the way of the world. And I just think they should have included her in the reunion. Rumors had it that Waldo, Sean Harrison, I think his real name is Sean Harrison, but the Waldo character reached out to her and let her know that they were shooting a reunion, and um, she was saying that they never reached out to her, which is pretty unfortunate. I ain't gonna lie, it would have been cool to see her with the rest of the cast. They mentioned her when it comes to the actual YouTube video with the reunion. They did mention her, but it was very brief. To tell you the truth, you already know they spoke to Steve Urkel more than anybody else. I think Steve Urkel had 2 segments talking about his character, but go figure. You already know Steve Urkel was the show. But other than that, I just think that she should have. Why not? Come on, man. When she did that porn, I think it was in the early '90s, early millennium. Come on, it's 2017. She's not even doing stuff like that anymore. Now, if she was doing stuff like that still to this day, then I would understand to a certain degree because Family Matters is a family oriented show, and you can't have that type of propaganda. I understand that, but this shit was so long ago. I think they should have just been like, man, look, let's just put her on the show, just put on a reunion, what may have you, and just come on. That's how I feel. Now, getting the 3J, and y'all know who 3J is. Oh my goodness. 3J. We all know it's what's his name? Orlando Jordan or something like that. Orlando Brown. Yeah, excuse me. It's Orlando Brown from That's So Raven and all of that. We all know his antics. We all know that. And I'm not gonna lie, it's hard for me to even say like, yo, you should have had him on the reunion too, because this dude, especially when it comes to like the end of last year, around 2016, like like around the beginning of 2017, like when he really started getting he started getting noticed again, and it was for the wrong reasons, like about him talking about eating Raven Simone out and all types of stuff, basically trying to slander Raven Simone or what may have you. Talking about, I think he said she even stole his cell phone and stuff. Everybody know Orlando Brown is a trip. Like, I ain't gonna lie, in a way he's entertaining, but we all know that if he genuinely acts like that, that he must have a problem. He must be on some other shit, and I really do hope he does seek the right help, because if he's on some shit like that, like whatever it is that's making him turn up extra on some real shit, you don't even need that, my guy. You already been animated ever since you was a kid. like going back to the Jamie Foxx show when you was with the in the big what was it the Big Brother program. Jamie Foxx, you know, put you underneath his wing, and we was like, "What? You want to hit in the Philly?" You try to make that a catchphrase and all that. It didn't work, but I remember it. For those that don't remember that, check that episode out. The episode's actually pretty funny when he basically was trying to frame Jamie Foxx. But yeah, it would have been awesome to see them, all of them, with them, including Lil Judy and 3J. It would have been cool because 3J. I know 3J was around towards the end, but he still was around for a decent amount of time. Come on, Steve Urkel taught him how to read and everything. Remember, he was illiterate. Steve Urkel taught him how to read, and he always was that character that I guess you could say he just demanded attention. I wouldn't say he was overacting, cause like whatever role he was in, including the 3J role, he was just like you can relate to a kid like that from the hood. A lot of kids in the hood is outspoken, very energetic, especially when they don't have like a family or whatever. Because remember, Carl Winslow's the one that put him under his wing and was like, "I'm gonna adopt you. You can live with me." From before, he was just a street dude, and we could all relate to a young street. One of them little annoying punks that always be in the street, like, "Yo, get your little stinking ass out of here." One of them little motherfuckers, one of them little bad motherfuckers. Especially, they're in Chicago, so it was pretty accurate. But that's all I gotta say about that. All in all, the reunion wasn't bad. They showed clips. You know, they spoke very eloquently and they pinpointed certain highlights about, you know, the show. They even mentioned when it was getting ridiculous with this dude Steve teleporting and transforming into different types of people and all that. It wasn't necessary. Come on, this dude was Albert Einstein and fucking Bruce Lee and come on, B. I got the Bruce Lee episode was okay, but they overdid it because I think they did like two other episodes of him turning into Bruce Lee. It was overkill. And you already know that typical Hollywood, ABC, what may have you. They see one thing that's getting a lot of bread, and they're gonna keep fishing in that well. They're gonna keep going in that well. They're gonna keep poking that bear, what may have you, until that motherfucker is dry. But that's all I want to build on real quick. Something a little different. I normally do my wrestling reviews and stuff like that, but I just wanted to build on Family Matters because I grew up on Family Matters, and I'm glad to see them come out with a reunion and all that stuff. It was good to see all of them. They all looked happy to be there. And, for a black youth to grow up and to see them now, it was cool. I'm off this. Peace out, motherfucker.